kick off in earnest now that the presidential candidate of the party is back. And we'll also be talking about the CBN and its monetary policy rates, the CRR, and all that. The interest rates increased recently. We'll be talking about that. We'll have Professor Lowell Adedoyin join us as we talk about that in a bit. Stay with us. The conversation continues. I'll bring in my guest in a few seconds, and we'll get talking. By the way, the numbers to call to be a part of the conversation are 09073530044 and 09087668888. You can send SMS and WhatsApp messages to 09097054450. Professor Lawala Dodoyi, thank you so much for joining us. Professor Lawala Dodoyi is a professor of economics joining us this morning. Good to have you join us, Professor. All right, let's get to the conversation. Many Nigerians are worried about the fact that, I've been talking about the new, monetary policy rates that was raised by the CBN to 15.5% from 14%, and also the CRR increase. Many Nigerians are wondering, what is this? What is the implication of the CRR being increased from 22.5% to about 32.5%? What is that? What does it entail? What does it mean for Nigerians for the cash reserve ratio to increase? Uh-oh, this is quite embarrassing. That network is not friendly at all. Would have to reconnect with Professor Adedoye. It's just sad that things like this would continue to happen after many years that we've had network connection. We're in the city. He's in the city. I'm in the city, and yet it seems like connecting is a problem. Yes, Professor, good to have you back. The network was really, really messy. Oh, again, I can't hear you. It's breaking out. Whoa. Okay, so we had a problem with that. I'm hoping to reconnect with him. Let's see. We call a different number to see how that works. All right. Okay. So the CRR, the interest rates in our country. Many Nigerians, they say, are living off loans, and they're finding it hard to survive because from paycheck to paycheck, in between those paychecks are. Professor Adedo, is that you? Are you there? Hello, Prof. Uh-oh, this is just not good. This is just quite embarrassing and annoying. Okay, we'll try it one more time and see how we can connect with him. I wanted us to talk about this quickly before we move to talk about, the uh, candidates of the All Progressives Congress and his return, his grand return to Nigeria, to the country. We'll talk about all the issues as pertains to the economy and how our economy is hemorrhaging on account of medical tourism, on account of educational tourism and all that. We hope to just have this connect so that we can talk with our guest. We'll keep trying to reconnect with him. Keep it with me, please. Hello, Prof. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Hello, Prof. Can you hear me? Hello. We say that's what we say. Many years after we've got the GSM and the telephone lines and all that stuff, we're still saying it go better. We try to make calls and all we have is drop calls and all that. But it's good. We have joining us back now, Professor Lawal Adidoyi, Professor of Economics, trying to help us understand the implications of the CRR as well as the monetary policy rates increase. Professor, go ahead and share that thought with us. You were trying to make us help us understand what it means for the CRR to go up.
Now, like I said the other time, we have limiting economic agents that are like society. We have the individual household, we have firms, and we have the governments. And any changes in economic indices have implications on each of these in different ways. Now, that's on one hand. The other hand of the equation is that there's an inverse relationship between interest rates and inflation, such that when you increase interest rates, inflation will come down. But that's not an absolute true. It depends on a number of other factors. Because one, you need to understand what causes inflation. Is it cost push or demand push? If it is demand push, if you adjust interest rates, then there's likelihood that it will have negative impact on inflation, that is inflation will reduce. But if it is cost push, that if it is reduced by cost of production, increase the cost of production, adjusted CRR will not have much possible impact on inflation. That is, it won't reduce inflation. It will even get something in people's spare of for inflation. Now, on CRR adjustment, it's a global thing now. All over the world, economics, developed economics are trying to adjust their CRR upward. That is Western world. The dynamics of economics in the Western world are part of the one in developing world, especially Nigerian economic situation. Now, let's look at the implication of this on the economic agents that are earlier highlighted. On individual household, when they increase the CRR upward, it has some negative implication. So the same thing applies to the Fed. Now, CRR is just the cost of capital. If you increase the cost of capital, you have reduced the ability of countries to access funds to meet their production. Now, how does it speak for Nigerian manufacturing sector? Already, we have problem in Nigeria, and most of the Nigerian manufacturing sector is fueled by diesel. The price of diesel has gone up. That means, and then you now reduce you curtail the ability to access funding to aid production. The implication is that their manufacturing ability, their production capacity have been altered. And when their production ability has been altered, it will have negative effect on production. And remember, I said the other time that what causes inflation? The two main things: demand or the cost, the supply side. Now, you've increased the cost component of production. That means you are now fueling inflation indirectly by increasing the CRR, because it costs more for firms now to produce, and if it costs more for them to produce, they have to pay. Either they reduce the number of outputs, or they produce at a rate that will be more higher for end consumers to consume. So either way, it will lead to inflation. So at this point in time, increasing the CRR rate by CBN now by 500 basis points, that's 5%, in the last, recently, you agree that this will be the second time in the last 3 years that CBN will increase the CRR by 5%. The implication started to contain inflation, they are fueling inflation. And now the inflation is now even beyond cost inflation. It's just because it depends on unemployment. Because manufacturers will have to reduce costs by looking for alternative way of reducing costs. And with the form of employment, reduction in unemployment, you have to lay off some staff. When you lay off some staff, you increase your unemployment, who will inflation increase. This will now lead to increase in visual index. The visual index before this adjustment was about 82%. And the bulk of it, 50% of it is caused by marriage between inflation rate and unemployment rate. These two rates now are now increased. You could imagine what the visual index rate in the middle would be. So by and large, why are we with the CBN? We don't know the reason why the justification why the increase is not get to us empirically. But reaction from common Nigerians and manufacturing sector shows that the timing is wrong, the percentage is wrong, and the magnitude of increase is not acceptable. So, to me, I'm not in support of that based on the very performance.
So, are you saying, Professor, that with the CRR increase, that there's a chance that inflation would also rise beyond what it currently is? Because many people are, many experts, economic experts, are also predicting that inflation may get to as much as 40% or even 50% before the end of the year if none of this is checked. Are you saying that the CBN now, with this move, has fueled or would be fueling inflation in the country?
The issue is that the policy, I believe that policy of increasing the TRR at this point in time is policy somersault. Instead of it to contain inflation, the reason why CBN gave is to contain inflation, but instead of this policy to contain inflation, it will put inflation. Because cost of production will increase, cost of growing has increased, cost of production will increase, and when cost of production increase, you have a fall in employment. If there's a reduction in employment rate, there will be increase in unemployment rate. So it's not contain inflation, it's rather fuel inflation.
That's interesting. Well, also another policy by the CBN is looking at the fintechs also capitalizing or fintechs capitalization of about 25 billion naira, and many are saying that this would stifle these startups, and most of them may run out of business because the CBN governor has said that the disruption by the fintechs is disturbing. And meanwhile, across the world, the fintechs are running economies globally with new technologies and new ways for avenues for people to bank their monies and also do business. What are your thoughts on such statements from the CBN governor?
See, the issue is now, many times the CBN policy statement, or like the comments of the CBN governor, make one wonder that actually are we actually in charge of this economy? Now, the CBN, you will recall the current CBN management, you will recall that over the time they be fighting what is supposed to understand and promote. The world is moving towards e-business, e-money transactions, cashless society. Recall that the predecessor of this CBN government, governor, president of former emir of Kano, Madam Sanusi, was moving towards cashless policy. And these digitizations of current understand this policy and see how they can manifest. At the point they said that the reason why exchange rate is failing is because one malam is running for the forex is doing forex prediction, and the bank is bad now. And instead of our forex to improve, the forex market to improve, you could see. I think that forex is then it's about 735 now. It has increased by about more than 500%. Yes, so I think most of what is possible that CBN is ruling out. Some of the statements, obvious statement that is coming out from CBN, I don't believe that they are well thought. I think they need to sit down and re-examine some of the current trend and see how they can maximize their fighting the new development in economic globally. That's Nigeria cannot be isolated from.
Well, the poverty rate in the world, Nigeria accounted for most of the poverty in the world, according to a report by the World Bank, and saying that Nigeria and Congo accounted for most of the poverty in the world. But then looking at inflation, global economy, this Nigeria, many people are also saying that with the world economy as it is, the economic downturn globally, that nations like Nigeria are not directly affected by the war in Russia and all of the issues affecting global economy.
Say this. It's interesting to know that the bedrock of this, uh, if we increase our inflation people, inflation million, I'm sure that probably it will even be higher than that. So, in recent, you cannot use this one, the official window of inflation, just to measure the actual inflation in the economy because we are using 2009 base year for it. Even the current reality is higher than what we're saying. Now, concerning mathematical positioning within the Russia-Ukraine war, see why Nigeria is a cultural economy that heavily rely on oil, and we have it in abundance and least compared to our neighbors in Africa. But because of policy, because of bad governance, we will not be able to manage the exploration of oil. We could even meet up with our global quota. And these have negative effect on us. It will cause that they have always been, government have been shouting that there's oil debt, oil debt, oil debt all over the place. But on the regular, I think we will secure our pipelines. We will keep a with our export quota. Then we will laugh like other oil economic nations in the world are smiling now from Russia and Ukraine war. That's on the one hand. Then the other hand of it, that we produce oil. We are not exporting economy. We're not going to find it. So people are finding that they will be able to, subsidize, be able to enjoy the real blessing that comes with subsidy. But because we are not refining our product, we have to pay the dollar. That's why our economic regime is traumatized. So until we come to reality of having the working refinery, if you have a PPP, that is public-private partnership mechanism, or you don't have a sense of purpose in government that will eventually, work, ensure that our refinery is working. Because when this government was campaigning in 2014, the campaign that by the 1 year refinery will be up and going, you build the refinery in every 1 year. But it's not unfortunate. We don't adhere to maintenance culture, maintenance expenses from NNPC, and nothing is coming from NNPC. So, until we start being producer of finished produce, that is refining produce, and selling to and stop being a net importer of finished products, we might not be mathematical opportunities in the Russian-Ukraine energy war, which have the great implications on energy crisis globally. And two, until we're able to secure our pipeline such that there's no case of oil debt and secure our border and sincere with ourselves. You will agree with me that the custom DG came control the custom, came public and then no, the amount of oil debt that government and the NFPC and that should be investigated because oil debt is not what you put in your pocket. Stealing oil is not what you put in your pocket. It is syndicate deal. And there are some big risks behind it. So it's not something that they come and tell us that they are not debt. That oil debt should be investigated. And then the subsidy regime, the money invested in oil, subsidy. Over the years, the last 7 years, when this government came on board, they said we consume that price. Now, they say that is something in your party. As they increase our population, increase our food to that magnitude. So there's no rent seeking in the oil energy sector in Nigeria. And I think until we address those things, we might not be able to, get out of this.
All right, the conversation continues. I'll be talking more with Professor Lawala Dodoni. If you have questions or comments to make, keep these numbers really close. You're going to need them. We'll open up the phone lines shortly. 09073530044 and 09087668888. You can send SMS and WhatsApp messages to 09097054450.
Your number one radio experience you can count on. Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Water Resources, in collaboration with the World Toilet Organization and the organized private sector in water, sanitation and hygiene, OPSWASH, presents the 2022 World Toilet Summit with the aim of creating strategies and new partnerships to end open defecation by 2025. Date, 18th and 19th of November 2022. Theme, Sanitation Innovations for Economic Development. Venue, Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja. Join the global conversation around sanitation with high-level panelists from the World Bank, SHF Geneva, USAID and others, as well as renowned leaders including the United Nations Deputy Secretary General, Honorable Minister of Water Resources, Honorable Minister of Environment and other state governors. Chief host is His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, to join as an exhibitor showcasing technologies that can boost the sanitation economy, or as an attendee. Register now at www.wtsnigeria2022.com.
Eagles 102.3 FM. Abuja. Here to stay.
Hello, Prof. We're going back on, sir. Thank you for keeping it with us on your radio experience. You can count on. This morning, we are talking with Professor Lawal Adedoni, who is a professor of economics, joining us in the discussion around, well, the inflation, the CRR, the monetary policy rate raised by the federal government, or the CBN now. We've been talking, quite an interesting conversation, quite revealing. And at this point, we would bring you into the conversation, joining. If you have thoughts, questions, or comments to make, call 09073530044 or 09087668888. You can send SMS and WhatsApp messages to 09097054450. Now, Professor, I'm going to ask you this question. Do you think that the conversation around exchange rate is what is driving the economy the way that it's going? Because people say, look, even people who have no business with the foreign exchange are talking foreign exchange, and they attribute everything to the rise in the dollar, and that's one of the reasons why inflation is going up in this country. Because the person who sells Gary, the person who sells palm oil, who has no business with the dollar, is constantly pricing whatever they sell against the dollar. Why is that so? And do you think that this actually affects the inflation rate?
Thank you, sir. See, Nigerian economy is more or less in the right economy. We are open to the external sector such a way that whatever happens in the external sector affects us. First of all, let me tell you that there's no economy in the world that can operate in isolation because of this concept of revolution. Economy works together hand in hand. But Nigerian economy is more than an extreme case of globalization, exposure to globalization. So that whatever happens in Nigeria, whatever happens in the global world affects Nigeria, but even though it's separate. Now, and what are the reasons for this? When the culture of Nigeria is in buying foreign products than buying what is made in Nigeria. We don't believe that these Nigerian products are not good items their material items. So because of that prestige on foreign vehicles, there is high demand for foreign vehicles. And because they are paying dollars, so there is high demand for dollars in the Nigerian economy. And because we are not producing to match make what we are importing, that means our exports cannot speak to compare with our imports, then the demand for dollars will increase. And now, as for those guys that selling their tomato peasants, the people that buy bread on the way, and we don't have to dollar, but the price of dollar has gone up. Because people also, someone telling that we don't eat Gary, that's where our health, our damage social crucial. There's no more in operation, so that depends on the nature of the network. The same thing about trash. The same thing about the same thing about to soup that we wear. We can't start from one side. The other side of it is that people look at the students. It's believed that they are successful from an academic side. After right now for the past how many months now, about 8 months now, students that go to school abroad, at least they know when you're going to finish. The guy we value certificate in abroad than certificate in Nigeria. And payment of then you know what, the energy sector is a is being run on fuel. And fuel is export, is import dependent because we import finished goods to Nigeria. And they're not free. So there's an individual movement, transaction that attach our economy to a foreign sector so that the dollar determines the price of things in Nigeria. And it's not helpful for Nigeria. So when I go actually today, first of all, we have to have value orientation. We have to be thinking of buying the flag and the cloth we are wearing is Nigeria. The flag and the shoes we are wearing is Nigeria. The flag of eating this Nigerian food. So from that way, and then we should increase our production capacity. Develop the production around production, and then increase our production capacity. Government have to play a major role. They don't know in China. You get in China to where China is today, and the Asian barriers, getting them to where they have today. The government play a major role. First, in value orientation. Second, in supporting capacity sector. So that our production is needed. Now in Nigeria, we need to first of all address energy crisis on one hand, so that's going to help production. Number two, quality of matters should be, addressed. Now we increase the CRR, the government has not been funding has increased the CRR. Increase the CRR, negative impact on manufacturing sector. Then if you have negative impact on manufacturing sector, it becomes more expensive to produce in Nigeria. If you go more expensive to produce in Nigeria, then it becomes cheaper to buy imported goods. And then by the time you get used to imported goods, you are increasing the price of rubber. You are increasing the price of rubber, and this is not sustainable. And of the Nigerian wake up and get back to very well, then I don't see what I believe that these are things that we have to serious government that serious have to do. For instance, government officials, top government officials, when they have done, that's why I continue to respect President Yusuf. When he had such a event, he was sitting in Lagos, Nigeria. How many of our government functionaries have been sitting in Nigeria? The goal of making tourism in Nigeria is on the increase day by day. And you don't remember that someone just sit down from tourism that present as the of foreign now in this program. So all these things put pressure on our energy system. Thank you.
All right, the conversation continues. Call 09073530044 and 09087668888. You can send SMS and WhatsApp messages to 09097054450. I have a message here from Oganamano Austin from Adona Sarari State. Your in the introductory music to the program you played in your studio by Tony Tatwila says it go better when would it get better, if I may ask? Is it under this government or the government to come? I'm not pessimistic anyway, but from the look of things are going to be worse. One need to one needs no soothsayer or prophets to be told. Since the inception of this government, Nigerians have not gotten it rosy. In this season, every area of our life is on the negative side. It's only God who can bail us out of this situation. Okay, Emmanuel, thank you very much. Let's bring in a caller quickly. Hello, good morning. Good morning, Mayo. Good to have you. Good morning again.
Good morning, sir. I really want to appreciate you because you have spoken very, very well. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. We can hear you clearly.
Okay. My friend, if you remember, I've been saying this. Nigeria has a peculiar problem, and you cannot solve that problem with global solution. I've said this repeatedly. With the current economic challenges that we are having in Nigeria, cannot be solved with global solution, which Cbn is bringing in. Cash reserve rate increase is a means of pulling surplus funds, surplus cash from the society into safety by increasing cash reserve of the bank, which means that all these cash we have in circulation will be reduced. And what are you going to achieve with it? Applying it to Nigeria, you are going to get what we call galloping or running inflation. That is the consequence. Because it is not that people have so much money to spend. The majority of Nigerians are impoverished with poverty. They don't even have work to do. That solution they are bringing will only apply where you have a demand pull inflation. But what we have currently is lack of capacity to even produce to meet the needs of the people. And this is a nation that has some time depend on foreign goods. And the government policy has reduced this. And another problem, another issue to this is because of that, a lot of money is chasing dollar. And that is why you see that there's surplus cash, but not in the pocket of the impoverished Nigeria. And when you do that, the prices of things will go up because capacity of the manufacturing to produce will be hindered.
Okay.
And the commodity will not be available. Therefore, the solution that is being prepared by the CBN will worsen the current economic situation of Nigeria. Let me just tell the because of time.
All right, we'll take the solution shortly. Now, Professor, what is the guarantee, or do you think that, the next administration would make things better? Is there a guarantee that the next administration can come and things would just begin to look better for Nigerians? Because a lot of Nigerians are hoping that by the time the transition from this administration to the next, things are going to get better. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, we couldn't rule out Nigerian case, but see, the next administration, either they will do it right or not, depends on Nigerians. First of all, let's create the policy of the likely candidates. For me, we have three candidates that come up with a lead, a body language that shows where they are going. We have the APC, we have the PDP, and we have the Labour Party. I understand that NPP, that's the One Person Movement, is also making moves, but did not show us any ideology of what exactly they want to do. Now, what are the problems of Nigeria? These are basically what's called the campaign issues of these candidates. If it is coming on board, at least they not roll out their what's called manifesto. But the key thing they are telling us that they're going to continue from what Tinubu is going to build the legacy of one. So if you don't build on the legacy of one, the question is what are those legacy? Legacy, religion rates, unemployment rates, insecurity, exotic corruption. So he's going to be on that one. Then they say money shows the thing, child shows the man. You are going to 2019 when Buhari came on board and he said, because the past government people they did so bad that we have to clean up, and he said, don't worry, we are taking it to the next level. And you will recall that the decision 1988 to current state now. So if Tinubu is coming to build on that now, they can protect, they can finish the gaps to tell me the answer where we're going to help you. That's one part. Now talk about Waziri Adamawa. Waziri Adamawa says, oh, it's going to liberalize, it's going to have open market and stuff like that. Yes, fine. And then, but you know, Waziri Adamawa was the one that spent intent on the government of PDP 1999 to 2007. Why was the vice president? So the question is the question I was asking is that what's the question that Obasanjo asked Shunyadia when Shunyadia contested in 1992 that did he forget the barrel of things in the office that was Grand Peak? So the question is, was really forgot something in the office that was Grand Peak? Why is that if APC is taking a PDP global to this mess, then was really answer that question? But to remain as it is that there's food and again under Waziri that under the corner anybody going to do that I got to see that now the top alternative is that because we look at now because he come up with his own ideology that is the main problem of Nigeria is diversifying corruption and he said based on what it is in Anambra State that we can from that within a short period of time move the country so that the education sector was improved so that it became the school of 3 years became number one wide and that of security. The idea of policing at that time is about the fact that Anambra was the safest state under him. So and then being rational, prudent government in such a way that he himself is going to reduce government costs. And he's not just telling us not just to the presidential these are what it is in Anambra. He was not flying chartered party while he was government, was flying the regular Nigeria in the course of government. So I believe if people came on board, I believe it would have been sentimental about if I have or opportunity to pick up on its alternatives. I think I will go for it because he has shown us in the demonstration by example that this is what I did in another state and this is what I'm going to do. So I believe to me, somebody like the likes of Peter Obi or Labour Party, and then we did better thing for Nigeria. We vote in Nigeria. There are many of these other two candidates. Waziri Adamawa is okay, but I'm not that concerned if what has got of PDP has got of this and who campaign on Nigeria saying that they're going to build on the able to worry. So I don't think we have to consider that.
But if you're comparing the antecedents of the Anambra State, the former Anambra State Governor Peter Obi, why are we not comparing that with the performance of the former Lagos State Governor Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu and his antecedents as a former governor as well? Why are we going to juxtapose that with the current administration, which isn't really a part of, aside from the fact that he's a member of the party? Hello? I'll bring in a caller quickly. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, the presenter.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, the professor in the studio. My name is Bala Muhammad. I'm calling from Suba Fruits Market.
Bala Muhammad, go ahead. Let's hear you quickly, please.
Thank you, sir. I had the contract and the contracting issues about our politicians, more especially the APC, the PDP, and the Labour. And it seems to me the professor is a little sidedly with Peter Obi's camp. Now, the question here is, we in the north, we saw what Peter Obi did. He did well in the state, Anambra State, like he claimed, and he claimed that Anambra was one of the most safest state in Nigeria then. That's what he said. Then, is it why Peter Obi made all the northern people in the Anambra at that time to put on tax, signifying that they are from one side of the nation?
Do you have any proof to that? Do you have any proof to that? Peter Obi has debunked that. His team and the government at the time also debunked that. Do you have? Can you send me a video or an article in a newspaper that supports that?
Let me just tell you first. It happened that some people were attacked.
Were you there? Did you wear any tag?
Yeah, from
Were
they are
you?
from
Were
that part of,
did you experience
northern
that?
part of Nigeria, and some were even arrested. One that are doing little business there, that they are suspect of Boko Haram. Until Comfort was there.
I'm sorry, I wouldn't take speculations like this on the show. It wouldn't make sense. And by the way, I'll be having that conversation on if you have facts to back up whatever you're saying, then put them forward, because I recall that those statements had been debunked, and it's the kind of saying that nothing like that's ever happened in Anambra State. Now, Professor, just as we go, what solutions would you prefer to this, to the situation, and what would you do differently if you were the CBN governor at this time?
Well, if I'm president, see, let me just I'll address that one. But just to say something about Tinubu, I appreciate the fact that Tinubu could build Lagos like you didn't claim that he could Lagos. That Lagos has been a cut of Nigerian things. We love in Nigeria. We do commercial headquarters of like so that might not be. Also, we appreciate and sympathize I think Tinubu to that level. Then the prime minister which is on the side. All those things that happened in the miracle of 2007, that he did claim that you will go away that Tinubu was not the government that was there, it was not the prime government. Now we had to create the light of groups that are there. And then not Tinubu was not the prime government there. But now that's what we said about what it's called now. It's in the government central bank. In fact, the government central bank, I don't know if that position, but you see, what me I think is appropriate to support the manufacturing sector understand what and what is being done. You shouldn't just follow back like on the same. It's what every when the world is increasing later, so let's increase it. No. And then if you have to increase rate, you want the proportion of South Africa increase their own rate by 70 basis points, and that's 0.75%. Get the 1%. UK get the 1%, increase by 5%. So you can't just doing that. If I'm the CBN government now, I will support the manufacturing sector. That's awesome. Selective, select critical sector in the economy, support them. Not and I won't increase the rate at this time. Right now, I'm thinking of going reversing the other, but reducing the rate, not increasing the rate.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Professor Lawal Adedoyin. This is where we'd have to close the conversation this morning. Thank you to everyone who's been a part of it. Those of you who sent in messages and called, we appreciate you for being a part of the conversation this morning. Professor Lawal Adedoyin, it was always a pleasure talking with you. I appreciate your time and thoughts on the program. All right, my name is Ihan Nacho Prince. Keep it with us. Business News is coming on next. Right after that, Toto takes you over on 1023 Extra.